How's it going, Cersei High? I'm Drew Thurman with Pride TV.
And I'm Heather Frazier.
Today we have a package of our Great East program with Aaron Newton, an interview with Mr. Hodges on the changes to parking lot with Jacob,
Along with a story on the effects of social media with Wendy Corona and some trending topics. Let's get started with this episode of Pride TV.
Wow, I sure love the epic development of this show. Thanks for that intro, Heather.
It's awful. But you know what isn't awful?
East. Now let's see what Aaron has to say about our East program.
Here at Cersei High School, we have many interesting and cool classes. East just so happens to be one of those classes that is more like a program to bring everyone together. We sat with the president of East program, Matt Dozier, and Ms. Carpenter to tell us more.
East isn't just a class. In fact, East itself is a program and is becoming more popular as we speak.
Well, we say that East is education accelerated by service and technology. It's not really what those letters stand for, but that's what they mean, and that's really what we mean. When we started, nobody believed high school students could do it. Now we've got second and third graders in the program. When we started, we were a small collective of schools in roughly north central Arkansas with a few outliers. We currently have a presence in 4 states, but we've had presence in other states, some 5 and 6 time zones away. There are about 26,000 students in the program today, and there are about 250,000 that have gone through the program since we started.
East is a program where you can learn more about yourself and your community as you expand your project ideas.
Well, students can do all kinds of different things in East. They do projects that address a need that they see in the community. So somehow they develop a project that's going to help solve that problem.
In the East program, there is no such thing as an East teacher. In fact, East is a program you learn as you go.
East is not like teaching a normal class. It really is like facilitating other students. So that's why they call us facilitators instead of teachers, because we help students understand the East model and concept. The biggest impact East has had on me is that I look for solutions more often now. Anytime I'm out in the community, I'm always identifying something and thinking that could be a project, or how could I have my students turn that into a project.
If you have any open spaces in your schedule next year and don't know what to fill that extra space with, why not sign up for East? I know I will. Back to the news desk.
Thanks for that story, Aaron. Maybe you could 3D print us a Pride TV logo.
That'd be epic.
I know. Now let's drive over to Jacob's package over the parking lot.
Take it away, Jacob.
Every morning, at least a third of the student body parks in the parking lots. Over the course of this year, new rules have been implemented that affect students' mornings. We caught up with students and enforcing faculty about how they feel about these new rules.
I think the new rules are pretty pointless. I think forcing students not to be able to sit in their cars hasn't done anything. It's just made us cold. I think the new rules were implemented to probably stop kids from vaping in their cars.
Some students have been distressed about the new rules that have been sanctioned, but according to Mr. Hodges, these have been in place for some time now.
Once you get on campus, technically you're supposed to go ahead and go into the school or go up to the school. I know there's a certain time that we start letting kids in, students start coming into the building, but staying in their cars, they should park and then they should be exiting their vehicle within a reasonable amount of time. I understand you got to get your stuff together and all that, but yes, that's one thing that we've enforced. It's always been a rule that we've had, but we started enforcing that we want students to go ahead and start making their way up to the building.
These aren't the last rules that will come to the high school. We were informed about new guidelines that the school system is thinking about instituting for students.
there are some things we're looking into. Obviously, we need to make sure that all students have insurance. One thing that we also need to think about is anyone driving an automobile on campus possibly could be subject to drug testing. That's not been approved, so that's not something that's for sure. That's something that I am looking into.
The rules of the parking lot are obviously very important to our school system, but students have a few complaints. Here at Pride TV, we think that whether you agree or disagree, we all need to follow the rules put in place by our wonderful administration. Now back to the news desk.
Wow, that was truly epic.
I guess so. What's the name of the next segment again?
Bruh. That was truly an epic bruh moment.
Yes.
Let's take a look at the lunch our lunch ladies have prepared for us.
An entire week from now, we will be having hot dogs with mustard or hamburger, lettuce, tomatoes, pickles, reduced fat white cheddar Cheetos, fresh broccoli with ranch dip, baked beans, diced pears, and milk.
Sounds like another great lunch from our great lunch ladies. Be sure to give them some epic hand hugs.
I sure will. Now let's get to another segment.
Trending topics. What do you have for us, girls?
Hey guys, welcome back to Trending Topics. I'm Bella Simonelli.
And I'm Nancy Angelis. Today we'll be talking about the new palette created by Jeffree Stars and Shane Dawson. And last but not least, we'll be recapping some of your favorite Halloween looks from many celebrities.
So stay tuned for this week's Trending Topics.
As a really big fan of Shane Dawson and Jeffree Stars, they're coming out with a new collection, the Conspiracy Collection, consisting of the Conspiracy and the Mini Controversy palette, 6 new lipsticks, and many more. This palette is the first ever created by Shane Dawson. All his ideas and effort put into this palette are shown in his series called The Beautiful Worlds of Jeffree Stars on his channel.
I love all the colors put into the palette. The lipsticks are so pretty. My favorite was the lipstick called Are You Filming? The red is so bright and out there. Now onto our recap of some spookily thrilling costumes. Going into the fall season, I've always been excited to see all the cool new Halloween looks. First up, we have Demi Lovato, who dressed up as Pennywise. She devoured this look with her on-point makeup.
Love the way she took Pennywise and made her own version. Next up is my personal favorite, Nina Dobrev. Decided to spice things up from her usual looks and go out this year. Many people love Billie Eilish, so it makes sense why she decided to copy her own pickable style and be the bad guy for the night.
She really did a nice job. I loved her version of Billie. Now, last but most importantly not least, we have 1-year-old Stormi, daughter of Kylie Jenner. She recreated one of her mom's recent Met Gala looks.
Oh my god, that is so cute. Her outfit was so on point. Well, Cersei, that's all we have for today on Trending Topics.
If you want to hear a topic you're interested in, DM us on Twitter at LionTV. Be sure to tune into our next episodes. Until next time, Cersei.
Bye.
Wow, I was really excited about that makeup palette.
I didn't know you wore makeup.
Every day is epic with makeup, especially when I share it with my 2 followers on Instagram.
You just got another follower. Speaking of social media, that's the thing Wendy's talking about next.
Social media has affected a huge number of teenagers throughout the decade. It can cause anxiety, depression, and can affect school learning. We got together with a teacher and a student to get their input on how social media has affected student social life and school learning.
There are many apps that teenagers like to spend most of their time socializing and communicating on.
The apps that students spend the most time on would be Instagram to post what they're doing and see what everybody else is doing, and Snapchat would be the most apt people to use to communicate on.
98% of students around the country use social media. It can cause damaging effects with their relationships with others and cause them to be inattentive at school.
Everything that kids have done to socialize through the decades has changed. It's not the skating rink anymore. It's, it always changes. Phone is where they're meeting now.
The negative effects that social media can do to me and other people would be that people tend to go on social media and start to compare their lives and be like, wow, my life's not that great. So they start to represent themselves on social media, making it look like their life is just as great, when really our life is just as normal as anybody else's.
On students, I think the biggest negative effect they don't realize is that it's permanent. So much of it's permanent. I don't think it's all a bad thing. You're made to socialize, and it's just a new way to do it.
Social media can and will affect your school learning. What can you do to change that? Now back to the anchors.
Zesty.
Well, Cersei, that's all we have for you today.
If you miss an episode of Pride TV, make sure to go to CerseiLionPress.com and click the Watch Us link.
Stay tuned for the next episode of Pride TV. I'm your anchor, Drew Thurman.
And I'm your other anchor, Heather Frazier. Have an epic day, Cersei.